It is the fittest city on earth once a year as the 2019 Reebok CrossFit Games once again invade Madison, Wisconsin, the fittest crowd on earth. Getting set to watch the fittest athletes on earth as we move indoors to the Coliseum here at the Alliant Energy Center for women's event 7, the Split Triplet. Thanks for being with us here, everybody, on the Rogue Iron Game. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram, and we are being joined by a man who has been to the CrossFit Games 3 times. He finished second in 2008. He has competed at National Weightlifting Championships where he did split style lifting. I call him the master of the split snatch, an OG of CrossFit, Josh Everett. Josh, thanks for being with us. Man.
Thanks for having me, Sean. I'm real excited to brush off my commentary skills.
Yes.
And be back with you on the booth here.
Yes, and I should say one of the founding members of the CrossFit media team. So Josh, it's great to have you back here as we take a look at the floor and the world feed of the CrossFit Games provided by CrossFit. Tia Toomey, your overall leader at 521 points. Kristin Holte, just 5 points back. And right now, Jamie Greene hanging on to that final spot on the podium. Just a 27-point lead, though, over Karissa Pearce. Event number 7 is the Split Triplet. We have a pegboard, we have some double unders, and then 2 movements with a dumbbell, 55 pounds for the women, and they have to lift it in a split style. Again, Josh, you are what I call the godfather of that movement. How did you become to be so good at that?
Well, practice, of course, but it was out of necessity for me. The split position makes it easier to keep your torso up when receiving the barbell, adds stability for those that maybe lack some mobility. And it became the way for me to lift the most weight overhead.
Chase, let's talk about keys to this event. You just kind of went over them, but let's talk about them again as we get set to now watch the final women's heat.
If Tony the Tiger were to tell you, it's grip.
Well played. That's a good dad joke. One for Chase.
Keeping the fatigue, it's going to be more of a fatigue element than it is a complete failure element. We were talking earlier about grip strength versus grip stamina. It's a little bit of both. If you don't have the stamina to back up the strength, which is what the double unders and the split snatches are going to do, those pegboards are going to get a lot harder exponentially as you get into rounds 4 and 5.
These are the 10 athletes who will be with us for the remainder of the competition. No more cuts for the individuals, and Katrin Davidsdottir on the left of your screen was on the outside looking in the last event, but did enough to get herself into the final 10. The overall leaders will be right in the middle of the floor. Tia Toomey wearing the white top and red shorts. She is the overall leader. She'll be right next to Kristin Holte, who is trying to track her down. Holte trails her by just 5 points coming into the 7th event of the 2019 Reebok CrossFit Games. We start with the pegboard ascent. Now both pegs must reach the top, and both pegs butts come down, and we already have a stumble from Tia Helgadottir on that pegboard.
Tia Toomey also fell off the pegboard to start the event. The one I'm looking for, Sean, is the bottom right part of the screen, and that is Amanda Barnhart, who wasn't able to climb a single one last year. It looks like she's fixed that hole.
Once again, we appreciate CrossFit providing us with these pictures from their world feeds. The single pegboard ascent is done, and now it's on to the 100 double unders. Katrin Davidsdottir was first done with that pegboard. So some of the athletes in this heat don't have a whole lot of experience with this thing. If this is your first time at the games, you may not have seen it before.
Yeah, I think for the athletes coming up on this split snatch, if they haven't practiced splitting with the dumbbell, there's a coordination factor. Like, it's not just going to be go, push, and all physiological engine. They're going to have to think what foot goes forward as what dumbbell's in the hand, how am I going to stabilize this, and also remembering to stand completely up with the dumbbell before they lower it.
Well, and here's the thing you mentioned, thinking about it in coordination. You have to lift with the arm that's opposite of the foot that goes forward. So if you're lifting with your right arm, your left foot has to go forward. That could, that's enough to mess some people up.
Think how hard that was to explain. Now tell someone to go and do that on the fly. And I think what you're going to see here with these athletes is that you're going to see a separation between those that are just good at doing CrossFit and the athletic ones that have experience with these multiple position movements.
Katrin Davidsdottir, Karissa Pearce, and Tia Toomey are on the lead pace. Kristin Holte is a handful of reps back, as every athlete is done with the 100 double unders, except for Amanda Barnhart. Now, Barnhart may have an issue with one of her ankles. I was told that she may have injured it a little bit during Mary, so we'll have to keep an eye on her and how that affects her during this event. Tia Toomey right now is your leader, 5 rounds.
Interesting strategy from Toomey as she is doing a clean and jerk. It must be just get the barbell to overhead anyway, or the dumbbell to overhead anyway. That's a little bit slower. It's going to take her a little bit more time, but possibly less fatiguing.
There are 22
strategy works out over time.
Total repetitions in each round, and Tia Toomey is done first. Back to the chalk, and she will begin her second of 5 rounds. So 22 scored repetition, 1 for the pegboard. You get credit for 1 when you finish the double unders, and then 10 each for the dumbbell movements. Katrin Davidsdottir now moving back to the wall as she tries to vault herself up the leaderboard. Remember, there are a lot of points on the line here, and the gap between each finish is 10.
And this is exactly what I wanted to see from Tia Toomey coming into this event. She was losing some momentum. She didn't have any bad events. She just wasn't having those standout dominating events. So Tia Toomey, from what she finishing the dumbbell, racing to the pegboard, wasting no time. This is exactly what she needs to do to reestablish herself with these top 10 ladies.
Tia Toomey and Karissa Pearce are under their second of 5 rounds. And now Jamie Greene picking up the jump rope as well.
I think the one thing we are overlooking is the 100 double unders in the middle. For a couple of rounds, 2 to 3 rounds, it really isn't that bad. In fact, going unbroken isn't the worst thing. But if you remember the open event last year, that had 100 double unders in between these high skilled movements. They had dumbbell snatches, muscle ups, bar muscle ups, and overhead squats. Is by the 3rd round and 4th round, they got so much harder and so much more fatiguing. So I'll be curious to see how they handle rounds 3 and 4 moving into 5.
Tia Toomey done with her second set of 100 double unders, and now on to the dumbbell for 10 split snatches from the hang position. What do you like about what you're seeing from Tia Toomey, Josh?
So right now, very efficient. She started with that snatch, and what she might do is go to the snatch until she gets a little fatigued. When she starts feeling that fatigue, switch to the clean and jerk that she did last time. Or maybe she got through that first round and she's like, I got this, and she's doing the faster but more difficult snatch.
It's hang dumbbell snatches, then it is 10 hang dumbbell clean and jerks. And again, you have to put the opposite leg forward from the arm that you're using to lift. Katrin Davidsdottir's on the left. She currently sits in 3rd in this heat, and it's Karissa Pearce who is in 2nd. But Tia Toomey, once she hits 44 reps, she'll be done with 2 rounds, and she'll move back for round number 3.
And as you guys watch, you'll see a couple different styles. One, just the difference between the snatch and the clean and jerk, obviously. But you also see kind of a swing or a kettlebell style, which again takes longer, but it's a little less taxing on the heart rate and the shoulder. And then you'll see more of an Olympic pull where the dumbbell stays closer to the body and goes straight up. That takes a little bit more energy, but it's faster. So it's all going to be about what's the best strategy for pace and getting through this workout. If you go too hard out of the gate, you'll find yourself taking breaks later on in the workout, which will obviously hurt you.
Tia Toomey back for pegboard climb number 3 of 5. Turi Helgadottir on the right of your screen has been falling off the pace. She was struggling with the pegboard. Right now, Tia Toomey is the only woman on round 3, and she is the leader in this heat, the leader on the standings, and she is blowing the doors off of her competition at this point of the event. Now, 3rd set of 100 double unders for Tia Toomey.
So impressive. Over 300 pull-ups completed about 12 hours ago, and they're going right up that pegboard like it's nothing, like they're not fatigued. The biceps, the lats, they look like they're fresh. It's amazing. Notice this is a back-driven movement, lats and rhomboids. Look at those back muscles as she goes up and down that pegboard.
Katrin Davidsdottir working her way down the pegboard, 100 double unders, and then 10 hang split snatches with the dumbbell, and then 10 hang clean and jerks with the dumbbell. So 20 total movements with the dumbbell after these 100 double unders. It's Tia Toomey who's the leader. 66 is the number that she needs to hit before she heads back for round number 4.
Still staying unbroken on all those double unders after the 3rd round, and a lot of that comes down to keeping your composure and trying to turn the double unders into a rest period in between those 2 movements on the front and back end.
Tia Toomey on to her 3rd of 5 sets of hang dumbbell split snatches, 10 reps.
Looks like her strategy has been to snatch the first 5 And then as she moves that dumbbell up, she'll move to the clean and jerk as she gets more fatigued. So she's had a plan, she's sticking to the plan and executing it. As long as you're in first place, you stick with the plan, right? It's going well at this point.
Well, and the good news for her, she doesn't have to worry about any other women in any other heats because these are the only 10 women competing right now. Toomey is your leader. 10 reps to go in this round of the hang dumbbell clean and jerk. And again, you got to put the opposite foot forward from the hand with which you're lifting. Katrin Davidsdottir sits in third place as Karissa Pearce has moved into second. Davidsdottir is closing out round number 3. She is on her set of 10 hang dumbbell clean and jerks.
Now that's big for Katrin Davidsdottir, coming in 9th place overall after the cuts that we had earlier today. And as the points scale has changed and now it's fixed for the rest of the weekend, these are the times where you need to start chipping away. You don't have to make up all those points in one event. You got a few events left. We don't know how many, but there are a few events left going into the rest of the weekend. Get those little 30 to 40 point chunks while you can.
There are 110 total scored repetitions in this event, and Tia Toomey is through 66 of them. She is now on to round number 4. Karissa Pearce sits in second. Davidsdottir's in third, Jamie Greene, and then Kristin Holte has fallen off the lead pace. So Tia Toomey looking to put some more distance between herself and Kristin Holte on the overall leaderboard. Toomey came in with just a 5-point lead over Holte as Karissa Pearce works her way back to begin round number 4.
To me, this is the big round where we decide what is the toll what kind of toll is getting taken on these athletes, right? We've already done 3 pegboard ascents, 300 double unders, 30 clean and jerks and snatches on each arm with a 55-pound weight. This round 4 is you're gonna see that breaking point for a lot of the athletes.
Tia Toomey on the left of your screen is your leader. 88 repetitions, that's the number that will let you know that she is done with round 4. Karissa Pearce has moved into second. She is also on her 4th round of double unders. She's on the right side of your screen.
Be interesting to see how they handle the double unders on the last few rounds here, or the dumbbell in the last few rounds here, as the shoulders and lats are fatigued from the climbs and the double unders.
Toomey back to the dumbbell, 10 hang split snatches that she has to complete alternating each arm. After that, it is 10 hang clean and jerks.
So this looks so smooth out there. A lot of times you're going to see an athlete is laboring don't look at the quality of the movement, look at the expression on their face, because that gives it away. There's not a lot of poker players out there, right? And the Tia Toomey's face is so calm and so relaxed. Watching her sprint back and forth to the rig and the dumbbell speaks volumes to the intensity that she's bringing to this event.
Tia Toomey is leaving everybody in her dust as Karissa Pearce is 9 reps back, Jamie Greene 14, and Katrin Davidsdottir, all 3 of them are still on their 4th round of 100 double unders. Toomey's getting ready to close out round number 4. Once she hits 88 reps, she'll move back to the pegboard for a 5th and final time. Karissa Pearce now onto her hang dumbbell snatches. She just finished 10 of those. Now it's the hang dumbbell clean and jerks.
It's a
that's
nice
the final rep
place
for Toomey.
For Tia to be at this point, knowing that she's in the lead, she doesn't have to press. It's go with her normal strategy, go smooth is fast, of course, and the reason why her face is so calm, she's in a place where she can be calm, right? It'd be interesting to see if someone can sneak up on there, if the facial expressions start to change a little bit.
All of Tia Toomey's rounds have looked basically identical. She doesn't look like she is slowing down at all, and this is her 5th and final trip up and down that pegboard.
When you look at the movements from a technical aspect, these are very rhythmic movements. You can get in sync and get into a groove. Pegboard is one of them. There's a dance between the pull and the twist of the torso and the engaging of the core. Finding a rhythm on double unders, staying relaxed, using your feet, and just focusing on your wrists. And with hang snatches and clean and jerks, again, when you're switching arms, it says that swing and that rhythm. If you can find that and just settle in, that is a massive advantage for you if you have the fitness to back it up.
Tia Toomey is on her 5th and final round of 100 double unders. Karissa Pearce is on her 5th and final pegboard climb. she is behind Toomey, but Toomey is just putting a ton of distance between herself and Pearce at this moment. David's daughter still sits in third, and Jamie Greene is in fourth. Kristin Holte is right now in fifth place as Jamie Greene looks to track her down for second place overall in the standings. And there is Kristin Holte, who just got done now with round number 5. Toomey back to the dumbbell. She has 20 reps remaining. She has to complete 10 dumbbell split snatches and then 10 dumbbell clean and jerks.
Using those hips to drive, the hips open. We're talking quarter extremity movement here. Real important that the hips finish before the elbow bends, before you start to split those feet. So we get the full power of the legs doing the work and not muscling it with the arms. That's efficiency right there, which is going to lead to less fatigue and more power.
10 reps remain for Tia Toomey. Karissa Pearce in second place, now on to her hang split snatches. And now a no rep for Toomey, but it doesn't matter. She has a ton of distance between herself and Karissa Pearce.
A little mistake there. She snatched that first rep and she's required to do a clean and jerk there. Again, as you get fatigued, the thought process starts to go, right?
5 reps remaining for Toomey. Now a no rep again, and Karissa Pearce
forgot to split the feet there.
Creeping up, but Toomey does have about a 6 rep lead on her. So Karissa Pearce right to work, Toomey continuing to crank away. Final rep for Toomey, second win for Tia Toomey. Karissa Pearce looking to lock up second place. Pearce coming into this event in fourth place overall, 77 points off the lead. If she takes second, she will earn 90 points. Pearce is in, and Pearce will take second. Catherine David's daughter, the leader on the floor right now, looking to lock up third place and earn 80 points.
Can't begin to describe how valuable that is for Catherine David's daughter, sitting in ninth. She didn't win the games 2 years in a row and podium again because she's not fit enough to be here. She made the cut, she's survived, but she has a great opportunity to jump up a few spots in this event alone. Catherine David's daughter is not dead in the water yet.
David's daughter is done, and she is in third place for Catherine David's daughter, 80 points, as she looks to continue to climb up the leaderboard. Jamie Greene on the left of your screen, she is now the leader on the floor. She has 1 rep remaining. Jamie Greene is in. Fourth place and 70 points for Jamie Greene, who is now going to gain some ground on that woman. But if Kristin Holte is next across the finish line, all she's going to surrender are 10 points to Jamie Greene.
She had about a 45-point buffer coming in over Jamie Greene, but she's only 5 points behind Tia Toomey, so she's not going to lose a lot, but and that just shows you how the point scale is now changing almost the entire competition.
But these little individual races, it's a much bigger difference now between a third place and a sixth place than it was just one event ago.
Right. Hayes big time to be a winner right now, and Kristin Holte is in.
I mean, it's crazy to think, to Josh's point, we're like, oh no, she got 5th. What a tough event that must have been.
60 points for Kristin Holte. Jamie Greene will creep 10 points closer to her. Now Haley Adams looking to lock up 6. Turi Helgadottir, Bethany Shadburn, and Anna Fragku have fallen way back, but they are on their final rounds here.
And based on how they finish this event, Catherine might move up towards the top 5.
And we saw Tia there, #1 in the world, coaching up the newcomer, Haley. Is that Haley Adams who's coaching up back there? But that's the spirit of CrossFit and how it developed in the early days. Just everyone encouraging each other, and there's someone that's trying to take your crown, and Tia's coaching her up during the event.
Haley Adams, she is next across the finish line. So the youngster making her debut appearance here in the individual competition will take 6th. That will be good enough for 50 points. Now Bethany Shadburn looking to lock up 7th. And Chase, you mentioned it earlier, but keep in mind the amount of grip work and pulling that these women did less than 24 hours ago in the Mary event as Shadburn comes across the finish line.
It's a lot of pulling. I mean, you got the massive vertical pull down on the pegboard and up from the dumbbell snatches, and no reprieve in between on the double under. So I don't know what's coming up after this, but I'm sure they're all hoping is like, just don't let it be muscle ups, please.
Bethany Shadburn locked up 7th place. 3 women left on the floor. It's Amanda Barnhart, Turi Helgadottir, and Anna Fragku. And it's not costing Helgadottir anything to rest right now, as Amanda Barnhart, who has been struggling on the pegboard, she is in her 5th round. And Barnhart's going to finish that trip as Turi Helgadottir looks to finish up her event. Helgadottir with 4 reps left. Final rep for Turi Helgadottir. And she will get in inside the time cap, and Turi Helgadottir locking up 8th place. 30 points for her. Final 30 seconds. Fragku and Barnhart won't be completing this event inside the 20-minute time cap. Just 20 seconds to go.
Keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. Amanda Barnhart.
Fragku on her hang split snatches. 5 seconds to go. So Fragku's going to take 9th. And Amanda Barnhart will finish 10th. Tia Toomey gets her 2nd event win of the competition, and it's Karissa Pearce who takes 2nd place. And Tia Toomey able to overcome an early mistake on the pegboard.
What we said is like she needs to come in just guns blazing, and not quite the start you really wanted. She slipped off the pegboard right to begin with. I tell you what, there's nothing to juice you up a little bit more than a shot of adrenaline by falling off the pegboard. But you know, she fell off. We saw another athlete fall off as well. But after that, that was it. That was the only stumble that she had.
I mean, show me round 1 and show me round 5, and I don't know if I can tell the difference.
And that's what you wanted to see from a lot of these athletes coming in. But you know, we said coming in that Tia needed to reestablish herself, not just for the field and not just on the leaderboard, but I think for her. And you can see that celebration. It's almost not a sigh of relief, but it's like, everything's okay. I'm back in business, back in the Coliseum. Tia Toomey, that's what we wanted to see for event number 7.
Important event win, especially when there are so many points on the line right now, and you were super smooth through all of those movements, but a little hiccup to start on the pegboard. What happened there?
I just slipped out of the hole. Nothing biggie.
Not a big deal.
Falling off higher.
Sure. Now, we've seen you through all these movements before. We've seen you on the pegboard. We've seen you on double unders. Those dumbbell movements are a little bit more unique with the splits. How comfortable did you feel with them?
Well, I mean, dumbbells always come up in training, and you really had to focus on those movements, just with alternating arm and leg. So there was a few times that I stuffed up there, but that was a great workout.
This is the first time we've seen just this small amount of 10 final women out on the floor. Does it change your mindset at all, knowing that we've gotten here over the course of cuts through the weekend?
You know, those girls that have been cut so far are my friends, and it's actually quite emotional even thinking about it. They deserve to be here, and you know, I hope that they know that they can walk away with their heads held high, and it's just an honor to be a part of the 10 here out on the field because they're phenomenal athletes as well.
Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you.
Tia Toomey with her 3rd straight finish inside the top 4 and her 2nd event win of the competition as she gets some breathing room between herself and Kristin Holte, now leading her by 45 points in the overall standings. Toomey's winning time at 14:07, 27 seconds better than Karissa Pearce. Catherine Davis' daughter continues to march up the leaderboard. She will finish in 3rd place, and she has moved up 4 more spots in the overall standings. Jamie Greene and Kristin Holte rounding out the top 5. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to set up the men's split triplet as we continue here on the Rogue Iron Game from Madison, Wisconsin.